I think that kind of leads into the next question that we had, which is, how does small value payments compare with overall trends in the space? And I think that's what you've just touched on, Milena, is that, there is this significant deviation now away from brick and mortar solutions. And I think you were mentioning, about how, neobanks are really replacing that space that was previously occupied by the brick and mortars. And really, what is the next wave? It really is, how do you transact, under $100? Because that really is the life that most of us live in. 99% of all transactions that we all conduct are under $100. Very
I don't
few
know
are
about
over.
you guys, but I spend a lot of time every week paying for my kids' tuitions. So I've got 3 kids. Each one of them has after school activities with numerous teachers. Even though in Singapore, the banking system now allows us to do for free transfers to people, it still requires me to log into a banking app, have the right details in there, etc. So it's not seamless. If I could do that, and if it's someone abroad, then it's not for free, right? So if I could save that time, if it could be click of a button, do it very quickly on an app that is convenient for me, that would be the dream scenario.
I want to bring up one point there. We spoke of ease of making the transfer convenient, free. Let's start there, saying how about it's free, and send any amount of money and focus on low value. So PayPal is somewhat trying to do that. It's been trying to do that forever. I think PayPal app is in 120 plus countries, if I'm not wrong. And you can, technically the value proposition of PayPal is that as long as you are on the app and you have PayPal balance, which you can top up using any of the local payment instruments, transfer of funds between PayPal balance, irrespective of the value, whether it's 1 cent or $1,000, is free. But PayPal has been trying to focus on PayPal balance for a long time, and it is free, and they don't make technically money out of just that feature. But only 2% of all PayPal's transactions, or 2 to 3%, are between wallet transfers. So one thing that we need to think of is, why did PayPal not take off as a solution? This is exactly what we discussed. The app is in 120 countries. You can download it at a click of a button, and you can get onto it, load money onto PayPal balance, and transfer it to anyone, anywhere in the world, free of cost.
Yeah, I think the point that you bring up is the right one, because I think where the world is kind of moving or shifting is away from these standalone payment solutions and actually into the apps. So if you just compare PayPal with Uber itself, what is the use case for Uber is tremendous, because you power the entire ecosystem from end to end. Whereas PayPal is still transactional. You're still just the means to an end. You're not the actual product necessarily. And even when it comes to, how PayPal has positioned itself from an early days, it was very binary. You were either a merchant or you were a consumer. There was nothing in between. So now in the world we live in, where we have social platforms and streaming platforms, where people are sharing their own content or creating content, that's now consumer to consumer. And there really isn't a space, so to speak, necessarily for an outside payment platform to fit in. It really has to be within that ecosystem, right?
Yeah. So that's just one more point on that is this is the discussion we had in our meeting groups also, saying we wanted to build a feature of anyone can transfer between Uber Cash. I have Uber Cash, Arish, you have Uber Cash. Let's just build an international P2P remittance. It's just another transaction for us among a billion transactions. The incremental cost to our technology systems is close to zero. But people said, hey, but there's already PayPal. The challenge with PayPal is, as you just mentioned, it is not a part of people's lifestyles. On a daily basis, I will not open the PayPal app and become comfortable with it. And therefore, it's not at the top of the mind recall. I'm not sure that the other person has the PayPal app. What if they don't have it, and so on. Whereas with Uber, you get up in the morning, you got to go to work, you take an Uber. You come back in the evening, you want to eat something, take an Uber. I want to go take a bike ride, take an Uber. Right? So you open the Uber app and it becomes a part of your lifestyle. And once it becomes a part of your lifestyle, the next logical conclusion is to get you on to the financial parts of what your life is. So Uber said, we have become a part of people's transportation's lives and, let's say, eating lives with Uber Eats. How about we go and a power user of Uber opens the app like 2 to 3 times a day sometimes, right? Once to morning to work, in the evening, on an average, maybe 3 times a week ordering on Uber Eats. This is what PayPal was always trying to do, but could not. Because how many times do you shop online? Maybe once a week, maybe twice a week. That's where the power of Uber app comes in, where the people are so in tune with the Uber app, they use it so much, they don't want to go to another app to transfer money. Can you do it from the Uber app? And that's the value proposition you're talking of.
Absolutely. And I think it's important that you brought that up, because that really is the differentiator, even when you're looking at, the modern remittance companies today. They're all app driven, very intuitive, definitely cheaper, faster, more transparent than what you had from the banks. But all the same, if you have an app and you have an app community and someone says, oh, I've left my wallet at home, can you send me, $5? And you're on a chat, and within that chat experience, you can actually send that $5, and it goes from one country to another, one currency to another. Where do you even switch apps on your single phone to actually open, a TransferWise or any other platform to make that transaction? You simply would not do that. And I think that's really the almost like the the commoditization of small value transfer or remittance, is that it will eventually become purely real time and at a near zero cost. I think that's kind of the future we see.